Everyone, and welcome back to my Lifetime channel on a lovely Friday evening. It's a rare stream to do, obviously, usually, but I thought as we've big I didn't realize something would happen today, but we've actually had a good announcement, obviously today, confirmed in the title. Our tweet made it into the actual video, which is quite wild. Didn't think that actually happened, but hey, we're obviously with it. That's really good. Bear with me. Just make sure that's gonna should be good. That one now, hopefully. So yeah, so we're actually big day today. Gundogan has finally announced his return with, of course, a very Gundogan style tweet. Obviously, with him actually announcing, back in 2016, obviously that announced Gundogan after everyone was doing it for weeks on end. So we found out I actually linked with him. They had a hashtag announced Gundogan was constantly going on forever. Then boom, and then obviously it happened. Now actually it's happened again. Obviously he's in a very cool 8-year gap in time. He's done it. And now I've got the actual thing here. I'll show people what I'm on about.
And Ilkay Gundogan has agreed a return to Manchester City.
Yeah, so basically, I'm not sure if people saw that or anything, but if you actually look at the video, he actually shows I think at the very bottom left the tweet that we put out about it, which is actually quite cool. So yeah, claim fame and all that, but it's something you guys will always see. Your actual tweets getting into an announcement video, but hey, we'll take it. Obviously, big up Nick, all right, mate. All right, Ryan, always good to see you in the chats, mate, on other shows, also on this show as well. And of course, big up Jack as always as well for being in the chat and commenting away. Yeah, it's not a long stream, so not like a really in-depth chat. It's more just sort of a reaction to the actual announcement. He's finally back. I thought I'd wear the away shirt, obviously, that he obviously wore, obviously in the thumbnail, and also I'll wear it as well because it's on a shirt. But yeah, it's very lovely and great times, obviously on platform right now. Obviously, everyone's happy, buzzing to see him back in the shirt again. I mean, to be honest with you, he shifted anyway. I still have no idea why the club never gave him a contract anyway. I know Pep wanted to stay, but I still have no idea why on earth we didn't give him a new deal. When we did, but hey, it is what it is, I suppose. But the fact of the matter is, though, is that we've got him back now, and hopefully we'll see him become captain again. I know people will say, well, we should have Carl Walker, but me personally, I'd rather just have Gundogan back as captain. I think for me, he is literally the captain for us. I mean, obviously, you've got Diaz, and I get it. If Ruben Diaz becomes captain of this team, I've still bet that 100%. He's still the captain that I would go for personally, but for me, just to have, Gundogan back wearing that armband that he richly deserves, I think he was great sort of wearing, be unbelievable. But again, I know it's beat down to obviously the players and the club, and obviously Kyle was captain obviously last season, so we'll see what happens on that front. But the positives are he's finally back at the club, and we finally got a midfielder in the door, which is brilliant. I know everyone wanted Bruno. I want Bruno personally. I wanted Olmo or something like that, but someone to come in to do a job. But it is what it is. It is what it is. At the end of the day, we got a player through the door. We've got some backup. And that's the main thing. That's the main thing. We've got someone who's got experience and someone who can give us at least 1 or 2 years of experience while we look for the long-term replacement going forward. Yeah, I think as well. I think we'll run as well. I think it'll be the same thing. It won't be a start. I think it'll be the exact same team with the playing against Chelsea. Maybe a couple of changes here and there, but I think it'll be that kind of team. And then obviously they'll come on to a nice standing ovation. And obviously, it'd be great. I wish I was going to the game tomorrow, but I'm going to the Brentford one in September, so I'll be up there. Obviously, if you'll see me, just make sure to say hello. I'm not shy. I'm happy to chat to anyone when I meet them, obviously in person. But yeah, it's really good vibes. For the first time, I think all summer it's been obviously everyone's been nervous, sort of hoping that we get players through the door, and I've been a little bit the same. Obviously Savio was already done obviously in January, so everyone knew it was going to happen anyway. But the fact is, we've been asking for a midfielder all summer, and we've got one. But the question I've got is now, obviously, now that we've got Gundogan through the door, now that's brilliant, Mappy, all that, all that jazz, that's brilliant. The thing is, what do we do? What do we do now going forward? Because the thing is, when we look at the options we've got now on the bench, we've got Nunes, McAtee, Gundogan, Kovacic, Ronaldo Silva, Rodri, De Bruyne, Foden. There's like 8 options there. Maybe obviously Anna Riley as well. Not forgetting him, obviously in the EDS team. Also Wright as well, as Jacob Wright. So there's so many options there available, which makes me wonder someone's going to leave him. Because look, I get people are McAtee fans, and I get it completely. I'm not like saying people shouldn't be wanting him to do well. I want him to do well. But I said it before in previous streams, not necessarily on this channel, but other channels, particularly on Bevo's channel as well. Why on earth would McAtee want to be here right now with the lack of minutes he's getting? Like I know people have to forget, right? Yes, obviously he's grew up obviously at the academy. He wanted to play well and get into the first team. But the problem is, I think his chance went ages ago. And that's the problem. I don't think it's going to happen now for him. I hope I'm wrong, but. Yeah, Ryan, agree again. If Nunes doesn't get minutes, I think he will, because when's he going to play? Like, even already, he wasn't getting kicked already. Like, Kovacic is everyone of him. So's Gundogan now. Foden, De Bruyne. When's he going to get game time? What, League Cup? Like, one game he played, and I'll probably out some, because obviously I actually don't care about it. Like, this is what I don't understand. Players are going to leave. Like, you can't just have like 9 options of midfielders on there and everyone's going to be happy. It's not career mode. You can't just keep everyone happy doing the same thing. Like, it's not how it works, man. It's not how it works. But look, I hope it obviously things do work out unless you get players and that. But you got to be real here. Like, there's too many players in that area right now. How is that going to work? So again, I know I'm not going to be waffling it, but you got to be real. Like, there's 9 options there. Who's going to bloody play? Big up, Harry. Good evening, my friend. He's here now. Gundogan's here. Big up to you, obviously, and your Sean Dyche impressions, obviously, on Wednesday, which is fun to listen to. But hey, that's perfect. What I'm doing this kind of show. You get all that fun stuff, obviously, along the way. But big up, Harry, as always, man. But no, it's great. It's great. It's good vibes, obviously, before tomorrow's game, which is a big game. I know. Obviously, it's a newly promoted team at home that we should expect to win like comfortably. But let's be real. And obviously be always real on the channel when we can be, but obviously it's City stuff. But I think tomorrow is huge because it's going to start laying the foundations of where the team's going to be. Now, I've always said before, the midfield for me will be the experiment this season. For me, the midfield is going to be the one that's constantly tinkered with, changed throughout the season, before eventually we get it in March, April time where we know the best midfield. So I think anyone expecting us to start a midfield of the same players week in, week out, don't expect that for a while, because Ian Rodri's not back yet. Like, and obviously he's obviously the best DM in the world and our number one midfielder. He is number one midfielder. He is right now. So obviously he won't play tomorrow. So tomorrow won't be the same midfield as will be the rest of the season. So maybe at West Ham, we'll obviously come back. But yeah, I think it's just it's a big chance to sort of see certain players. I think I'm gutted for Oscar Bob that he isn't in the squad. He should be in the squad. I'm really gutted he's not, but that's just the way it is. Obviously, with injuries, it's going to be absolute fucking nightmare, but that's the way it goes, sadly. It hurts your throat, like, I bet it does, mate. But yeah, it will be mega, mate. It needing midfielders finally. It's someone through the door, which is amazing. It's someone with experience and on a free transfer. Best of both worlds. Exactly what we need. I think that's exactly what we needed overall. I'm pleased that's obviously been sorted out. I think we'll see a lot of Covington. Mate, exactly, Ryan. Exactly. I think that's exactly what I want to see as well. I want to see a Kovacic Gundogan pivot. Mate, gives Rodri that break, that rest. Because Rodri last year played almost every game, and he was absolutely dead at the end of it. Like, even for Spain, he was playing most of every game, obviously, before, obviously, in the final, I think he had to come for half time. So we got to see Rodri used more wisely for the bigger games. Obviously, I'm not saying don't play him in the other games. Obviously, play him when he's fit. But we've got to obviously rotate the team when we can to ensure that everyone gets a minute. Honestly, it's much more better for fitness overall. I think Kovacic and Gundogan both balance each other really well because they're both very similar players. I say Gundogan's a better player, but Kovacic is quite underrated. And we've got 2 players there who are genuinely at the world-class level of ability, in their midfield. I think they're both very, very underrated. I think that's exactly, to have that kind of a weaponry in the arsenal is huge. Big up Bevo. Always good to see you, my friend. Obviously on the streams, obviously, be it LB, be it Martin, be it on my show. Obviously, finally, had you on Wednesday. Obviously on your own channel as well, man. Always good to see you. So on the stream, exactly. Another tier license with obviously Wharton for jump on the gun. Exactly. Like if we had bought Alan Wharton this summer, it'd have been a massive gamble. And look at the Calvin Phillips deal. That was probably one of the worst deals we've probably ever made. It's sad because he should have been a big player for us, but it never worked out. It was never a deal that, it was a deal that should have been perfect for everyone involved. Should have obviously it got Leeds money, obviously going to obviously going down, obviously going down the championship. I think was it? No, that was last year. Sorry, it got Leeds money, and obviously it was it was just good for everyone involved. But it's just never really got anywhere. Injuries happened. They fell out with Pep obviously over his obviously weight issues. It's just it never really came to fruition, which is a real shame. But I think if we had bought Wharton this summer, it'd been a massive gamble. And I think, it just it's that experience that we need going into the Champions League, going into the rest of the season. Obviously, we've got Club World Cup obviously coming up as well. We just need to get everything balanced correctly. And that is why I think for me, it's good that we've got someone of experience in that midfield. That's the most important thing. Exactly as well. It's we had a massive dip obviously in November, December, and that was obviously huge to our season. And thankfully, it didn't cause obviously a major issue in the end, obviously. But obviously, it turned around and won the league afterwards. But we didn't have that experience, and that but we lost Mahrez, Laporte, Gundogan. We lost so many players last season, and it cost us dearly. But to have someone like that back in the team again is huge. But we've got to make sure that doesn't happen again. So I think tomorrow's game is a huge indicator of where we're going to be. And I think and if we don't get that right, I mean, if we have another dip again, that could cost us, because I think Arsenal this season, and look, don't be wrong, right? People will say about Arsenal, some Calafiori and Marino, they're not good players. Calafiori's have one great season at Bologna, and don't be wrong, it was a good season. Obviously, Bologna got obviously Champions League football, which is brilliant. But obviously, he's not playing for Arsenal now. And but I've got Timber, Tomiyasu, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Kivior. They've got a lot of options already. Also, Azachenko, they've already got a lot of options in defence already as it is. So it's another defender that they've added into that equation. So it depends obviously who's going to go, who's going to stay in that area. And obviously we've got Mika Marino. And no, don't get me wrong, he's not a bad player, Mika Marino, but is he really the player that's going to carry him to a title? I don't think so. I think it's a real gamble. And I'm not saying he's terrible either. I think if they got in Zubimendi instead of Marino, then I would have been very curious to see how that would have gone. But I don't understand Arsenal's thinking here, or Arteta's thinking in terms of getting him in. Exactly, Ryan. He isn't better than Russell Partey, clearly not. So as another midfielder like Jorginho, who's in that midfield for no reason, when all he is a striker, obviously is it with Williams from Bilbao, but he probably stayed at Bilbao anyway. Also linked with is it Osimhen, but that's not going to happen anyway, because I think personally I'll probably go Chelsea. I think in the end. They're linked with players that Lookman or Arsenal, but it's just names. It's not actually a striker that they can say you're the striker. You're the one that we're actually going to have in the box like Haaland is for us. That I'll give you a title. I just don't think. I'm not saying to underestimate Arsenal, but Arsenal have this year their fans as well, assuming that this year will be their year, because obviously because they were close in the first year, second season they were once the final day. I just don't think their fans understand that what they need is a striker. I think some of their fans do, like Lee Gunner and Northside, but people like obviously in the community who are Arsenal fans that get it, and I've been telling it all summer that they need a striker, and yet all the rest of the fans don't. So listen to them because they hate them so much. It shows you how toxic their fan base is at times. Arsenal's fan base is very divided. Still, even after all these years after Wenger, it's still crazy, but. Our fan base is I wouldn't say it's terrible. I mean, our fan base is quite united in certain things, like not everything. Some fans love players more than others. They love the actual team. That's a whole different debate in itself. But when you look at overall for our window, obviously fans wanted more players, of course. But I think we were always told, as the Tone said, Martin said it, everyone said it on the shows. LB said it as well. We'll need to obviously sell players in order to get players in through the door. So Gomez has already gone to Sociedad. That's fair enough. Calvin's on to Ipswich. I mean, he wasn't involved squad last season anyway. Alvarez gone to Spain, and now we've obviously got in Savio to replace Gomez and a good one to place Alvarez. So we've got 2 players obviously through the door to match them 2 players. And I think after one more player obviously to come in to sort of add a bit of quality into the team, be that Kyogo, be that Duran, or someone who's a striker, a forward player that can obviously get through a door. And another thing I heard through Alan Martin making it away, big in the know. Make sure you follow him on Twitter and YouTube. He's always right on things. I'm joking, but he'll probably have a go at me for that, but I don't really care. Obviously, we're linked with a winger. Apparently, our wingers obviously who we're linked with. Obviously, so it's someone obviously from I think it's German league, I think, or something like that. I'm not saying that's guaranteed, by the way. As far as I'm aware, it's a winger that we're obviously linked with more than a striker. Not saying obviously that's confirmed. Remember, people with minutes in the know, people are not always right. It's not their fault they're not in the right. People have sources that they get information from. It doesn't mean that they're always right in what they're saying. It's just a bit of news that you get and you relate it to other people. I think it's good to have that because you get an understanding of where the club's going in terms of who they're after. But that's another point in itself. But Harry obviously would have cost us as a controlling leader, but Gundogan wouldn't have been exactly. He wouldn't, and you're right because I think Kyle for me isn't a stable enough leader to control a slip like that. I think not having that kind of backup or option, I think overall, or ability in the squad, or someone with that kind of pedigree to say to the players, stay focused on the next obviously area and stay focused on what's next. It would have helped us obviously going through a period obviously playing Tottenham, Liverpool, Chelsea. It would have stopped us from actually collapsing like that. And that was, we're lucky actually. Arsenal Liverpool didn't actually do anything last year because we were lucky to even be in the title race. Well, I thought generally after them drop points, I thought it was over for us. But the fact that we turned it around was huge. Obviously, and I commend the players obviously for not turning it around when they did to win the league. But this year we can't do that again. We have to control the dip. We have to make sure that the form is steady going into that winter period. Because I'm not asking for insane levels of goal scoring ability, but we need to see performances improve every week in, week out. That should be the standards set. Again, the standards are always set by this team and how good we are overall. And we should always be accountable for when we actually don't play really well. Aston Villa exactly. I'm already in. I think is it Samu? What's his name is obviously and after him apparently, and obviously Duran might be sold. Yeah, I know, but right now there's a lot of domino effects. There's a lot of players being linked, going here, going there. Honestly, I think today I think O'Reilly's. I think Brighton just signed. Is it Kadioglu from Turkey? Is it O'Reilly as well from Chelsea? It's brilliant business from Brighton right now. They're doing very well right now this window. But obviously, looking at who else they're linked with, obviously Napoli. I've just signed Lukaku, which is a great deal for them. To get Lukaku in. Obviously, Osimhen obviously out the door. So I'm actually probably going to Chelsea as well. We'll see how obviously that plays out. It just seems like a lot of transfers are happening, or they're just it's kind of like a domino effect. Players going in, players going out. It's not necessarily a lot going on, but it's kind of just it's all down to when players move and obviously when clubs obviously get the player sorted out. So I think at some point we'll definitely know more on the forward player. I have a feeling we'll start knowing more by Monday. I think as we're playing a game obviously tomorrow. I said the focus will obviously be on tomorrow's game, and obviously tomorrow's game for me is still a big one. It doesn't matter who you're playing against. Ipswich for me is obviously it's a new opposition, a new league for us. Obviously, first time was 2002 for them. I think obviously the first time was in 22 they're back again. So we've got to make sure that we're up for it. It's a home game, first game at home. Homecoming, obviously for Gundogan, it's huge. And that's what we should be always. All focus should be on. Now, obviously, for us, obviously, at a channel, I'm absolutely happy that we're actually in the Gundogan. I mean, that for me was crazy. I didn't really notice it at first. I mean, I don't look at the tweets to sort of see which people were sort of bought into it. Then I noticed that the tweet we put out earlier on very similar to one they put on the video. Now, I wasn't sure because I didn't want to sort of assume that it was obviously an account like a City Ramble. Now, obviously, I love City Ramble, great podcast. Obviously, make sure you follow them on YouTube as well when it's their shows. Great stuff, obviously from Amos and Andrew and all that. Now I could do a whole bear with me, but I just think for me, when I saw that, I just couldn't believe it. Generally, I mean, I know obviously They probably sort of look like Gundogan, obviously, have found obviously what they did, but the fact that we're actually in that is just mad. Like, obviously we're still obviously a growing channel. I know that we're not massive or anything like that, and I'm fine with that. I like the actual journey of building a community. People obviously in the chat right now, Harry, Ryan, Bevo was in it just now, obviously, and all that. And Jack, Nick. I love having people obviously in the chat, chatting away, giving obviously everyone a bit, chatting away, obviously giving their thoughts, opinions on things. That's what it's all about. But it's just the fact that we had like all the tweets that put out by Gundogan were actually in there, mind blowing. Absolutely mind blowing. And I thank the club obviously for putting them in. Obviously, I doubt they'll probably see us anyway, but if they do, thanks to you guys actually putting us in there. Really appreciate that. It's sort of pushing us the hard work. I know it's only a tweet. I know everyone puts tweets out anyway, but it's the fact that we actually got something out there like that, and that for me is amazing. It's huge. So thanks to the club obviously for actually putting us in there. Big up Kuma and big up Fresh. Us Kuma guy, all good, my friend, all good. And big up Ryan. Thank you very much, mate. Again, I'm just sort of we're doing this in March. It's a new channel for everyone. Obviously, it isn't my channel. Obviously, I share it obviously with Danny and Alex. And I always do obviously a podcast them every Tuesday. Make sure to obviously tune in for that every Tuesday. When we do it on Monday, depending on when we're free, but we do one every week. And it's just like I'm still growing this content out more and more. Like it's becoming a bit more diverse. Obviously, we do 2 shows a week now, maybe 3 depending on what's going on. But it kind of just allows me to sort of diversify the content when possible and make sure it's of a good quality. Now, I don't often do streams on my own, as you can probably tell. It's not very something I do a lot, but sort of for my own confidence, particularly as well, especially with talking, it's great for me. So I appreciate when people actually tune to watch the show, be it on Twitter or YouTube. I appreciate it so much. And comments like yours, Ryan, I always appreciate it, man, because it shows that we're obviously doing the right thing. And obviously, I'm looking to add more effects, add more, intros, and hopefully a little bit more, even more fresh and a lot more, unique in that. But again, it's more in development phase. I want to make sure that it's all perfect and right when I put it up there. Because at the end of the day, right, I don't want to put up stuff that's terrible. Like anything is terrible, fair play to you, but I like to just sort of do my own stuff and actually appreciate when people sort of show a bit of love towards it back, because it means I'm doing the right thing, and it means people actually enjoy watching it every week. So everyone, I always do appreciate that. Thank you very much. But yeah, so enough of the soft stuff. But for us, it sort of is a big to sort of see people actually enjoying the show, enjoying the comments, enjoying the video, the stream. It's big, and I think for me particularly doing streams on my own, it's something that I've never always used to ever done before. I've done videos on channels in the past. I haven't really sort of done necessarily as well, but it was something that I was always used to doing. So it's new for me. This is new for me doing this every day or every week now. But I think the more you do it, obviously the better you want, obviously, in confidence wise. I think that's good overall. But yeah, it's just really nice to sort of just be, I have a community of people sort of involved on Twitter, YouTube, sort of chatting away, leaving likes, comments. Obviously, it's good because in the day, right, this isn't just my channel. It's something just people can sort of be a part of and come on and have a chat with, obviously. And at some point, I will do calling shows. At some point, that is something I want to do. At some point, I will be doing calling shows. I'm not sure when. I've got to work everything out, but I want to do it because I know people do it anyway. But I want to try and do a regular one, like weekly after games, so the fans can have their say on it. Because I think it's important to have fan opinions, on where obviously club is, obviously on performances. I think that's very important. I think fan cams themselves are things that have been done for many, many years, but I think calling shows obviously aren't necessarily a new thing themselves. But I think where you can do them is good. I think I've got an idea in mind of what I want to do with that, but I need to get obviously people involved, obviously, and people who actually want to chat away about it. Exactly, Harry. It's exactly, no one is perfect. Like, I'm not asking for a perfect show because it's not impossible. Like, we're all human beings putting our faces up on the internet right now. Like, it's not it's not an easy thing for anyone to do, but that's what this channel's about. It's about putting up content, obviously, that's unique and different to everyone else. I think that's what we should be doing and promoting. But yeah, so I've got ideas in mind. I'll probably put out a few polls on Twitter at some point on YouTube and sort of see what everyone thinks about doing, obviously, calling shows and other stuff like that. Sort of get people to get more people obviously on board and chatting away. I know it's not necessarily a new concept, but it's just a weekly thing that I can do on a weekend after games, or after obviously a midweek game, obviously in Champions League, to see what people obviously think about it and see what they want and see obviously where they're at with it. But it's again, it's an idea and process that I'm sure I'll sort of bring forward at some point. But it's nice to have ideas. But yeah, it's been a very busy week overall. Finally got a transfer through the door. Finally got Champions League. Champions League. One about right here for full squad page right now, but just nice to have a player through the door who's actually won the Champions League, obviously, and experience and that. It makes me feel confident as well going into the season, because I think for me, I wasn't necessarily like not confident, but I didn't want to go into season feeling like we were a bit understaffed in certain areas. Now, was a midfielder what we desperately needed? I wouldn't say desperately needed, but I'd say we definitely need someone of a quality like Gundogan's to come in and do a job. I think the fact that we've got Gundogan, but all the players to go for, is huge. So I'm pleased that we've managed to get that over the line. Obviously, it's not Guimaraes. Now I get it. I'm glad we didn't get Bruno either. I want Bruno at the club, but again, I think the club obviously have a value in mind of him, and you can't just be spending money for the sake of it just because the fans want him. Like if the club value a player at a certain amount of money, and the other club value him differently, you can't just sign for the sake of it. It's got to be like a overall, it's got to be a thought out process. I understand that, especially with Olmo, especially obviously with Bruno. It's how it should be. So overall, I'm pleased that we've actually got someone through the door, and that is what it should have been. Do you know what? I think it actually is. Like, people don't actually realise, but I think overall, our squad, actually probably the biggest of it been. I'll try and sort of get up an actual, squad size thing. I'm not sure whether the website will have Gundo on here yet, but we'll get up obviously and see. Bear with me again. Today, one on the stream right now. Smash the likes, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Always appreciated. Try and build this channel obviously where we can. Obviously, it's and be along for the ride for obviously throughout the season. There should be more shows to come. Obviously, people can obviously have a look at and see where we're at. Hopefully, this will actually let me. No, hopefully this will actually let me share it. Bear with people. I'm gonna see. Present. Share screen. There we go. That's more like it. Oh. Bear with me. On. There we go. It should be right. There you go. Right. So we've got Carson, Edison, Ortega. I think that's brilliant. I think that's actually a good overall. Obviously, amount of keepers there. I think anymore. I think that's got Ortega obviously for at least for a couple more years. Edison's obviously looking happier now. Hopefully, he'll sign a new deal at some point as well. All good there. Kanji Ake he'll be off anyway. God, he's going. If dreams are true about him about leaving for good by Saudi, I'll take it. Ruben, Yosko, Rico, John, Kyle. He'll probably be gone as well, Josh. I think overall, defensively wise, good. I would have liked Frimpong and Ever Walker, but again, I understand obviously how it goes. You can't just. It's down to obviously the player as well. I think this season, if I'm being real, out of the players we've got here, I think Kyle and John will both be gone. The next summer, I think it'll be a refresh again. I think in terms of defense, I think Ake will be here for a bit longer. Akanji will be here for a bit longer. Diaz will be here for long term. Josko definitely long term. Rico probably for the rest of his career probably. And yeah, I think John and Carl I think will both be gone. I just don't think it's going to be a long term. It's going to be like them two here for long. I think John's injury prone. It's not working anymore for him. Sadly, I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I mean, I love John Stones. I'm a Man City fan, but I just think we're at the point now where he's not the best centre back anymore at the club. I think Diaz, Yosko, Kanji. I think certain players are better. I get people will say that John Stones is still the same player he was, but he still is. But you can't just give him a new contract for the sake of it. I think you got to look at his deal runs out. I think is it next summer or summer after that. You got to look at it as he going into his final year next year. you got to look at it and think, is he really worth giving another long-term deal? And bear in mind, it's probably his last long-term deal he'll probably get in his career, especially at his age now. You got to think about it. And Kyle, obviously, he's 34 this year. I think he's done now. I think personally, I think he'll probably start winding down now in his career now. I think he's look. Overall, I like Kyle Walker for what he's achieved at City and obviously what he's done for the club. But I just think we just need a new right back now going forward. I think next season, new fullback, and sort of a new start. I think there. Midfielders, obviously, Oscar's. I'm so gutted for Oscar, man. He deserves to be in this team right now, and he would be if it wasn't that injury he got. But it is what it is in that front. It happens obviously in football. Unfortunate injuries do happen to players like Oscar, which is a real shame. But what can you do, sadly? But obviously, Oscar will be a long-term player in this team. Kevin, I think this will probably be his last year. I don't know, actually. It could be maybe one more deal, probably. One more 2-year deal to enter that. Hopefully, he stays one a bit longer. Doku, long-term. Foden, obviously, definitely the long-term player. Jack. Now, I was going to leave your comments below, people, who are in the stream, YouTube, Twitter right now about Jack. I don't know. I have a feeling about with Jack, it's not going to be this clear. I don't think he'll be a long term. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad player or anything, but last year was a really rough year for him last year. It just didn't really work out overall. And I'm worried that if he has another year like that, will the club think, all right, it's not going to work. It hasn't worked out. We'll look to get money for him. I know everyone loves Jack, but in the fan base, it's very divided now. I think it's getting more divided every year about Jack. £100 million, obviously, a most expensive player, I think, or someone else now was clips him. But I think it's still a most expensive player. Has he done enough overall to, pay back that money? It's like 13 goals, I think, for City, which is not good at all. I mean, even less than that, probably. It's not. I don't think it's enough for a player of his quality. That's not enough goals. It's not enough contribution. I know. I'm not saying he doesn't do anything for us. He definitely does. He does do it for us. Obviously, injuries are a little bit ideal for him, but he's got to have a good year this year. So for me, he's got to have a good year and really sort of prove that he's part of this team. I'm sure he will do, but has to be said, I don't think it's clear cut for Jack about him staying long term. Ilkay, obviously, 2 years probably most likely enough that probably be a coach, which I'd absolutely love to see Ilkay as a coach of this club, or not saying a manager as a coach long term, absolutely. Cover, I reckon 2 more years probably at most. After that, probably gone like Turkey, Saudi, or something like that after that. But either way, he's a great player. Cover, I'm pleased obviously he's at the club. McAtee, this is a difficult one. Now, I love McAtee. I think he's a great player, great talented player, but I don't think it's going to be a long term. I think he'll be gone, sadly. I just don't think long term he's the player for his team. And the fact that he's been 2 years at Sheffield United, one good year, one all right year, it's just I don't think he's really got the level anymore. I know Pep said he trusts him, but I appreciate that he does trust him. It's good to see him actually in the squad, obviously as part of the team, but is it not hindering him, having him a year in the squad, not getting much game time when he's 23 next year? Like, is it the part of where he's growing a lot now in his career? He's been playing week in, week out. Are we seriously going with, it's fine, he'll become like Foden? He should be getting these starts 2 years ago. He should be getting this squad introduction 2 years ago. I don't know why the hell we're doing it now. When he's had 2 years out on loan. I just don't understand personally. I mean, I don't really understand overall, the situation. Personally, I want Jack to stay a few more years because he's very good at stretching players out. It's hard to score. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, as I said, I actually hope that he does stay. I want because I think for me he offers so much more to this team than a lot of people don't actually realise. Having that player in the squad's huge, so I hope he does stay. But we've got to be real here. Is he long term going to be the player if he has one more year like last year? Because I remember he's not young, by the way. He's like 28 this year, I think, or something. And I know it's age doesn't I think football, especially if players still play well at their age, but you got to think £100 million for what we got for him. It's not looking good in terms of the payback for that. Now, I get it. 3 titles, Champions League, FA Cup, Club World Cup. Again, I'm not knocking it. Like, I'm not saying it's a failure. It's not a failure at all, from my opinion. But we've got to look at it like that, like long term. If he doesn't have it, if he doesn't like, knuckle down and get going, could it be that he's out? Again, I'm not saying he ain't good enough. He definitely has the ability to do it, but it's a huge season for him, nonetheless. I mean, Harry, I agree. He did say it'll be his squad, and I think it's just it's a good squad to sort of have fun. A squad of players who can sort of offer different things. I think that's what we should be looking at. And sort of obviously striving for going forward. Nunes, another one. I think for me, if we get offered for him, I'd sell him. I don't know why we got him in the first place, but I think for me it was a panic buy when we couldn't get Bellingham. Now I think Cover for me is very similar, but I think Cover was already. I think for me was I think Cover was actually a good replacement anyway. I think these two were actually linked together anyway as a replacement option anyway, so I'm not going to count that as a panic buy. He was. I think Nunes was a panic buy. I think Nunes was a reaction signing after Bellingham went to Real Madrid. And look, obviously I'm gutted to get Bellingham in the end, but when you look overall at what he's done, like nothing much anyway, not much game time. Maybe he should have got more maybe last year, but he isn't really doing enough at the moment as it is. I mean, he played well at Wembley. I was there, I watched him. He came on and did a really good job, but didn't play against Chelsea. Will he play against Ipswich? Will he start? Probably not. Will he actually come off the bench? Probably not. It's just I don't think he's actually good enough for City overall. I think it probably got. I reckon. I mean, someone else. Hopefully he proved me wrong, but I'm not seeing enough overall as a player to sort of say that he's going to really step up and do something. Hopefully he does, but obviously time will tell. But for me personally, I think so. Obviously, pros out alone. I think long term we'll probably sell him anyway for a bit of profit anyway. Not a bad player, Pro. I like him, Pro. He's actually a good little player, but I don't think he'll make it here. Sadly, Calvin he'll be gone long term anyway. Rodri, the goat, Godry, absolutely. Savio, baller, long term future of his team. I know he's Brazilian. I know people will say, "Oh, he might go to Real Madrid." But I think for me personally, he'll be a long term. I mean, the fact that he grew up obviously watching the team, obviously, and he's been obviously in the academy, obviously, and the setup now for a few years. I think he'll be here long term anyway. I don't doubt that at all about him. I think he's a very, very talented player. I think he'll only get better and better with us. Bring him on this year for Saturday. I'm really pleased I actually got him in the end. Bernardo, I think he'll be a long term. The whole summer, he's just really mad, right? Even if his release costs like £50 million, no one's gone for him. It's crazy, isn't it? No one's gone for him. I just think he'll be here for a while. I just think, for me personally, his career's great anyway. Like it's like a what if. His career for me is set in stone. Like he's won. Is it Euros? He won with Portugal? Was that year before something like that? He's won Champions League, Premier Leagues. He's won everything, mate. I think for me, Bernardo Silva's career is already unbelievable anyway. I think his career is already set for me personally. But what a player, man! Absolutely Bernardo Silva. And it was just Holland as well. Maybe one more forward there to go with it, but I agree. Overall, I think that is probably the strongest team we've probably had overall in a long time. Oh, there we go. Yes, there you go. So yeah, so I think. Hold on. I'll just quickly there you go. So he's a couple levels below City. In my opinion, yeah, I think for me, I'm guessing McAtee probably. Yeah, I agree, Ryan. I think for me, McAtee, Peroni, or players like that on will probably be that kind of like level. I think. I think they're not bad players. They're obviously technically good players that can play well at other teams. But I think our quality on a higher level is so high now that you got to be at a certain level to make it here. Which sounds a bit like maybe a little bit arrogant, but it's not. Like it's where we're at now. So I think that's probably where I'd sort of say it. Yeah, I think personally for me, was it last 2 years of City? Last season this summer, leaving a free to Benfica, finding me overall. For we got him for, was it in 17? After his great year at Monaco, obviously with Mbappe, Mendy, and all that. Obviously, another video and players they had there. So then come to us, be unbelievable. Score important goals, assists, big performances in Champions League. I'm sure it'll actually be more this year as well. I think for me personally, it's a great deal. I think if he goes to Benfica, That's where it all began. Wish him all the best, man. I think it'll be great. Yeah, Brian, I agree on that. I think Gundo for me, I blame more the club for not giving him the contract there, but I also understand why they've got to think about business. Why I think you can't sort of just give anyone money for the sake of it. So I completely understand, obviously, overall that the grass is always greener. Definitely not. I think if Ilkay decided to go because he wanted another challenge, I understood that. But I just think personally, especially with what I've heard about the news and the way the deal was, I just think personally it's Bernardo Silva should stay here anyway. He should stay here for the last 2 years. Think about the Portugal with finish his career at Benfica. As Harry said, obviously, in his comment, I just think that's what it should be. But yeah, it's a great squad. I think overall, great squad. I mean, one more through the door as a forward player. That's it for me personally. I think after that, all good because I mean, quality wise, was good. I think anyone coming in now of a higher quality will have to obviously leave first anyway. So I'm not expecting anything major after obviously one more player. I think after the last player we're after comes in, that'll be it for me personally. I think that'll be it overall. That'll be it. All done. I think that's what it should be anyway overall. So yeah, big day tomorrow. Big day. Obviously, Ilkay Gundogan returned to the club after a year away in Barcelona, obviously on holiday, and now he's back. Weird how the Gundogan replacement actually was Gundogan, but there we are. That's what we're in a nutshell for you, really. It's a weird game at times. But yeah, bring on tomorrow. Harry's 9 a.m. tomorrow drinking. I'm not doing it. We'll do it tomorrow, probably. Probably. No, me, but hey, why not? So obviously, everyone's obviously going to the game tomorrow. Wish you all the best. I have a good time. I'll be up there. It's Brentford, December. I'm probably Southampton, probably after that as well. I know obviously other games this season. I would have gone to the game this weekend, but stuff happened. Obviously, I think other family stuff, all kinds of things. It's not really important, but okay, so obviously couldn't make it sadly this weekend. But well, after the national break, we're back. I'll be there watching obviously the team for the first time in the league. Hopefully, by that point, we're still unbeaten and still doing really well at that point. But yeah, bring it on tomorrow. Bring it on tomorrow. Hopefully, Gundogan comes on and scores a goal tomorrow. Hopefully, it's a great all-round performance. Just get us ready for the season ahead. I just hope it's just positives around more than negatives. Obviously, Chelsea was overall a great win. Performance-wise, was actually pretty good. It's just I just hope overall it's getting better and better each week, and that's what it should be. So yeah, should be a good one. A big up Brian. Obviously, if I guess you enjoying the stream, mate. Say, obviously, big up Harry. Yeah, I know I'll start the contract. I know it ain't easy at all, mate, but it's all worth the effort, mate. For me, always worth it. But yeah, but to everyone, obviously tuning on Twitter or YouTube. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. I often do streams like this often and try and get used to doing them a bit more each week. So if you want to see more of it, leave a like, comment below on the stream. It's not perfect, no, it's not. Still starting to get used to doing it by myself, but I think it's always good to sort of have a chat with people, obviously, about the channel and sort of see where we're going with it. But yeah, mad day. Gundogan is back. City are back. Bring on tomorrow. Bring on the game and bring on the season. Come on, City. See you guys soon. Take care.